Look, they've impressed me, all of them. You know, when you look at the results since not just myself, since Lee took over, since Steve Clements and Steve Agnew have been here, the results have been there for everybody to see. So of course the difficulty is, you know, with difficult decisions you have to meet them head on and make them. And you know, it's that's where we are.
Is Kieran Westwood likely to play this weekend?
Well, I've got a decision to make. His knee's still grumbling a little bit, so I'll have a chat with him this morning and see how he goes.
Could he have played his last game for Sheffield Wednesday?
I hope not. I hope not. I have offered him a contract. So we'll wait and see.
Are there other offers now
we
on
will
the
be
table?
we will be discussing over the next 24, 48 hours, 72 hours, over the next few days will be, and obviously when I have a chat with the players concerned, then obviously we'll let the public know.
So people can expect to see a retained list early next week or sometime next week?
Yeah.
How difficult has that been? Because obviously there's been about 9 players out of contracts. There's obviously some financial complications and all that kind of stuff.
There's 8 or 9, and of course there's 4 loan signings who aren't ours. So, and I think we all understand that the financial implications aren't just for us alone. You know, we have to meet the problem. We have to try and address it if we possibly can. So within that, within them parameters, then of course there's big decisions and difficult decisions to be made. In my own mind, you know, we are there with it, but I think it's only fair that I speak to the players, and of course the one thing I have done is left it as late as possible, because up until last week we were still in a fighting chance for a playoff situation. So the last thing you want to do is dishearten the squad, because obviously there'll be some disappointed players.
You mentioned the loanees. One of those in Michael Hector got the Player of the Season this week.
Yeah.
Are you looking to try and keep him next year?
If at all possible, then we'd like to keep Michael Hector. We have to try and agree a fee with Chelsea. That's never easy. So, all being equal, he would be the first one that I want to try and tie down. Why shouldn't I? He's had a terrific season, and been voted the Player of the Season. So, for a lone player to do that, he's done very well. So, yes, if we could, then we'd love to try and do something.
3-month report then, since coming in.
Is it only 3 months?
Yeah, absolutely, just over.
February, March, April.
2 defeats throughout that time. In terms of the team's form and how they've done, you can't really have imagined it going much better.
No, we would have been, in the last 3 months, we might have been in the top 4 or whatever in terms of results. I mean, look, I don't think anybody could imagine that we'd make a fist of trying to get for the playoffs. I've been delighted with the response of the players. They have responded. They've done it. You know, yes, there is improvement. Yes, we can be a bit more energetic. Yes, we can play with a bit more intensity. But all in all, the way they've performed, I have to give them a big pat on the back, because since my tenure, and that's all I'm interested in, and possibly the month before, they've done fantastically well. When you look, since Christmas, really, they've lost 3 games, which is quite remarkable in this championship. So they've found a consistent way. We will have to be right at it. If we start like we did at Preston last week, then we're in for a difficult weekend. So we'll have to guard against that. But I want to finish as high as we can. So there's probably 9th, is it? We can get to 9th from where we were at 18th, 19th when we took over. Then of course I've got to be happy.
QPR, they've had a very difficult 2019 so far. Ran the stats last night, picked up just 10 points out of a possible 60. Still can't be complacent this week. Yeah,
nobody can be complacent, and you know it's what the championship is. You know, it's a very, very difficult league, and even, you know, I've got, you know, a big respect for QPR. You know, they've been in the Premier League not so long ago, and found difficult times along the way. So you know, I've got the hugest respect. They've got some good players, and it'll always be a difficult game in the Championship, no matter how you play.